This is 13 Minutes to Magic Texas, an abbreviated limited series podcast about the TAOM, SAM, FISM NACM combined convention in Arlington, Texas on August the 30th through September the 2nd, which we call Magic Texas. I am one of your hosts, Scott Wells.
I am Daryl Allen.
And I'm Dal Sanders, the current president of the Texas Association of Magicians.
Every 2 weeks, we will bring you information, updates, and highlights from Magic Texas. This week, we thought it'd be interesting to introduce you to not only us, but also to what this whole podcast is going to be about. And to begin with, we're calling it 13 minutes because we're trying to keep this as an abbreviated thing that you don't have to spend much time listening to. And the number 13 comes from Assembly, SAM Assembly 13, which is the Dallas Host Assembly for the TAOM this year.
Yes, we realized that our SAM Assembly was nearing our 100th anniversary. Back in 1924, Harry Houdini actually visited Dallas and was performing. And he brought with him the charter for the SAM Assembly number 13, the Dallas Magic Circle. Dallas Magic Circle had been meeting together several years, but then they decided to become an official member of the Society of American Magicians. And we still have that. It hasn't been lost to time. It hasn't been stolen. It hasn't been flooded or smeared or anything like some of the other charters we've heard about have been. We still have the original charter signed by Harry Houdini, Anne Hardeen, and several other notables.
Does that rotate among whoever's going to be the president currently of the club each year? Or
Too much risk.
Who handles that, Daryl? Do you know?
Yes, it's actually in the archives located at the home of the dean of the Dallas Magic Clubs, Dal Sanders.
Oh, that's me. That's me. Yes, and before me it was at Chuck's home.
Chuck Lear.
And we're the only two deans, but it's always been kept in a place that many magicians visited so that everybody could enjoy it and see it.
Well, one of the things, of course, the reason we're calling this Magic Texas is because the acronym of, it's a mouthful of saying TAOM, SAM, FISM, NACM. And let's go through, first of all, what each of those acronyms mean. Daryl, you want to
Sure. TAOM is Texas Association of Magicians. SAM, the Society of American Magicians. FISM, FISM, is, I like to do it in a French accent, Fédération Internationale Sociétés Magiques. And of course, the North American Championship of Magic, NACM. And let's not forget DMC, Dallas Magic Club.
Oh, that's true too. That's not thrown in there, but...
Hey, you know, I noticed that your French accent, that must have been from the south of France.
Absolutely. I should have let Ian Richards do it. So
that would have been good.
That will work out, yeah.
That's right. I probably should have introduced this to begin with by saying, howdy, y'all, since it is going to be in Texas as well. And since that is a mouthful, actually, Dow's got a little story about that.
Oh, yeah. We were referring to it as the TAOM SAM combined convention hosting the FISM NACM, honoring the DMC's 100th anniversary. And
to make it even longer.
To make it even longer, yes. And I was talking to a friend of mine, Stan Allen to be exact, who, of course, does the Great Magic Live every year.
And used to be the former editor of Magic Magazine.
Correct. And he was asking me about it, and we were talking about it, and he kept referring to it as that magic thing in Texas.
Okay.
I'm going like, I don't think I want this convention to be known as that magic thing, you know. So we got our team together and we started talking about it and trying to come up with an appropriate nickname for it that, you know, just would roll off our tongue, and also that we could grab the URL for. And then Daryl called me and he said, you know, several years ago, I went on a buying spree and I bought MagicTexas.com. I haven't done much with it. And I said, well, I guess we're going to be called Magic Texas.
Perfect.
So
there you go. Magic Texas, yeah.
That was a good idea. And so hence it was born. And it's an easier way to roll off the tongue and talk about Magic Texas.
That's right. But there's so much more going on. Of course, the TAOM and SAM combining, this is the first time that the SAM has ever combined with a regional convention. They've combined with the SAM before.
IBM.
I'm sorry, the IBM before, thank you. And but this was something that was actually conceived of by my mentor, Brad Jacobs, back in the 1999. He and Dave Goodsell both discussed doing this back before I got involved with the Society of American Magicians.
Both of them have passed, and so they passed that down to you too.
And well, I didn't even know it till I suggested it, and they said, yeah, Dave and Brad always wanted to do that. And I said, well, why didn't I know about that?
Yeah.
You know, I might have jumped on this sooner.
Yeah.
But, you know, as I said, we were getting ready for the 100th anniversary of the Dallas Magic Club. And we had planned for years to host a TAOM. And in fact, we kind of skipped our turn a couple of times.
In order to make sure you got the right one to celebrate your 100th.
That's right. And so it upset some people in the TAOM saying, well, it's your
Dallas
turn.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, yeah, but I've got something planned. And when they found out what it was, they said, oh, yeah, that's absolutely right. You should wait.
Well, this particular podcast, again, is called 13 Minutes to Magic Texas. The reason being is we want to try to keep this just to about 13 minutes, and also that we will provide you with some important information from week to week, and we also want to encourage that if you have some questions as we go about this every other week. By the way, it's going to be a bi-weekly thing, so the next one after this will be broadcast 2 weeks hence. And if you do have questions, you can always send an email. Should they send that down to you or Daryl?
I would go to b@magictexas.com.
B as in boy, or Blackstone.
No, B as in be there.
Oh.
B.
B-E.
At Magic. B
Oh,
at
that's
Magic
clever.
Texas.
Now I get it. Be at Magic. And there's not a hyphen or anything between Magic Texas, just magictexas.com.
Totally,
Be
yeah. MagicTexas.com.
Be at magictexas.com. That sounds great. And so some of the other things that we plan on talking about in future weeks, you want to kind of run through a few ideas there that we're going to cover?
Oh, yeah. We're going to be talking at and to the key players that are involved. We've got some great partners that we're working with. We'll be talking to our guest of honor and our honoree for this convention. And
it's already been announced.
It's already been announced. Gaye Blackstone is going to be our honoree. She's actually a North Texas girl. She grew up in Fort Worth, and she still thinks of herself as a Texan. Even though she's lived in Hollywood most of her life, she thinks of herself clearly as a Texan. And
I think they say if you have a layover at DFW Airport, you become a Texan.
Or at least you want to become one.
You want to
Sure.
No, but at the SAM conventions, we always have a Texas table, and she always comes up and says, can I sit with you guys? And I'm like, well, of course. You're Gaye Blackstone. You can sit anywhere you want. So we'll be talking to her. We'll talk to Mike Miller about some of the acts that we've got.
Because he's the talent chairman.
He's our talent chairman. We'll talk about the amazing facility that we've got lined up. And I know we've had some great facilities in the past, but this is going to just make people's minds melt.
We're going to talk about why it's going to be in Arlington, Texas, which, by the way, people who are outside of the area may wonder, where's Arlington? It's close to Dallas, but even closer to the Ranger Stadium and to the Dallas Cowboy Arlington Stadium over there. So and Six Flags and so many other things. We'll talk about all of that.
Yes, it's
the new hotel opening in February.
February 13th is the opening date.
Yeah, I love that new hotel smell.
We're going to be kicking the tires on that one, aren't we? We'll talk about some of the youth activities. And of course, we'll talk about the schedule a lot too. Oh, and we also will talk about the fact that we're hosting the FISM North American Championship of Magic.
Oh, there's that too.
Yes. This is...
There'll be a lot of details. There'll be several podcasts about that.
Huge deal. The only way to compete, if you're from North America, the only way to compete in FISM in 2025 is to first compete in Arlington in 2024. So that's...
Now, one of the things that I want to talk about, because I actually have family and stuff, right? Now, yes, I am from North Texas, so it's easy for me to do some things in North Texas as far as, events and adventures with the family. But man, the Arlington location is just super for bringing your family. It's going to be tremendous. I know we're not talking about it on this podcast, but wow, you're going to want to bring your family.
That's true. You know, we'll talk specifically more about that from the standpoint that a lot of times you go to a convention and then you have maybe make that into a vacation also. This is something where you should plan a vacation where a magic convention also happens. You know,
exactly.
And there'll be other kinds of things like a magic festival that's going to be happening, and we'll be discussing that then
That's
too,
right.
in the whole community.
The Great Texas Magic Festival is getting a huge launch, and it'll be there in Arlington too. So,
and there'll be opportunities for you, the listener, actually to perform in that Magic Festival then as well. And just real briefly before we start to wrap up over here then too, some of the other key players with the SAM and FISM who are working with you. I know that I know it's hard to put you on the spot here and not remember everybody. You're going to leave out somebody, but I know Mark Whitehouse is involved.
Yeah, first we have to mention Mark Whitehouse. Mark Whitehouse has been
driving factor behind
producing.
force.
Yeah, he's been producing the SAM conventions for like a decade or so, and he's done a really, really amazing job. Those of you that have been to the SAM conventions, you already know that, so he's been a dream to work with. He's also an engineer, so he's got the engineer brain. You know, he can look at something and say, that's not right. And where, you know, my brain is like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Rah, rah, rah. He says, now you got to hold off on that because look at this. And I'm going like, oh, okay. So it's been a great partnership with he and I. Mike Miller, we already mentioned.
Joan Caesar's going to be working
Joan
with the contest.
Caesar's going to be working with the contests and the judges on the FISM side. We have a great team from the Dallas Magic Club that's just stepping up to handle everything from registration to the website. That's one thing that Daryl is doing. He's our treasurer and our webmaster.
Guru.
And
let's not forget the mayor.
Oh yes, Mayor,
That's right.
Mayor Hogue,
Eric
who
Hogue.
is my COO, Chief Operating Officer.
So he'll be the one then also helping to raise some funds because we're going to be looking and asking you, if you happen to know of anybody, then also to help us with this because we're going to be needing that some money there soon. Well, it looks like we're starting to wrap up the end of this 13 minutes, and I don't really want to go over. I'd like to try to keep this within that time. So again, if you have any questions, be sure to send it to b@magictexas.com.
Because we want you to be at that.
We do. You don't want to miss it. And we're trying to give you as much information and insight as you can to encourage you to make sure that you register in time because this is going to be really kind of a once-in-a-lifetime event. This does not happen very often. So it hasn't happened before. And I can't imagine this kind of impact that this convention is going to have in the future that either, oh, there's our time. I guess it's about time for us to leave. So, Daryl, thank you guys very much. So until next time, bye-bye, y'all.